Well, hello everyone and happy Tuesday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before the 4 o'clock newscast. You know, if you're returning to Before the Four, you know I say it every day, wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether it is on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, I gotta shout you out. Thank you so much for watching and spending just a little bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. Now, let's begin with a look at the weather, as the chance of storms and record-setting highs are expected for the next few days. 80-degree temps, and no, it is not an April Fool's joke. But don't just take my word for it. 48 First Alert meteorologist Chelsea Aaron has the latest forecast. Chelsea?
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a gorgeous start to April with plenty of sunshine and temperatures right where they should be in the upper 60s, lower 70s. A live look at the shoals where skies are mostly clear and cloud cover should be increasing later on this evening. Temperatures here in Huntsville right at 67 degrees, Meridianville in the lower 70s, and winds fairly light out of the southeast. Winds will start to pick up overnight and through much of the day on Wednesday with occasional gusts between 30 even 35 miles per hour. Expect morning lows to trend warmer in the 60s with afternoon highs soaring quickly into the lower and middle 80s. We keep the above normal temperatures throughout the rest of the week and into the first half of your weekend, with a much cooler pattern arriving as we head into next week. And we also could be tracking another threat of frost and a possible freeze. This will be near record warmth this week. High temperatures each and every day, middle even upper 80s. We're likely not going to break any records, but we will come awfully close, especially on Wednesday. Tracking the potential for showers and thunderstorms throughout the week, as well as we're going to track a stalled boundary just to our north and west. These storms will be severe, especially across western Tennessee and into portions of Arkansas, but this is going to be a conditional threat, and the ridge that we're under is going to win out, so the threat of us seeing any storms at all is going to be quite low. Hour by hour, temperatures warming up quickly by Wednesday afternoon. Storms starting to fire off to our west, especially along the Mississippi River, but this activity will stay well away from us with just some increasing clouds throughout the day. Better chances for rain will arrive for the upcoming weekend, and we could track the risk for strong to severe storms late Saturday and into Sunday. We'll be providing more updates in the days ahead.
Well, thank you, Chelsea. Certainly good to know. And another thing that's certainly good to know, 48 Weather Extra. You'll catch First Alert meteorologist Chelsea Aaron give the latest weather update tonight at 9:30. And you see the graphic right here. We are going live Monday through Fridays from at 10:30 a.m. We'll have the morning meteorologist. This morning it was Eric Burke, and then Chelsea Aaron tonight, and then weekends 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. But yes, the new Weather Extra stream that we just started launching, or we first launched last month, so definitely stay tuned for that. But now moving out to Madison County, a man is behind bars after he allegedly shot at deputies early this morning. 48-year-old Rodin Vickers was charged with attempted murder and discharging a firearm into an occupied dwelling. Officials say deputies responded to a reported shooting along Misty Hollow Way around 6 this morning. When they arrived, authorities say they were shot at, but they were able to take cover and find Vickers. He surrendered and was taken into custody. Deputies confiscated the rifle he was using from him. They say he also had a semi-automatic handgun and 2 revolvers. Now, authorities also say a bullet from one of those shots hit a house in the neighborhood with residents inside. Fortunately, no one was injured. Vickers is being held in the Madison County Jail. His bond has not yet been set. But now in Huntsville, where a murder suspect has now been granted bond. Marvin Kendall was arrested for the murder of Thaddeus Stewart, who was shot on Turf Avenue on March 25th. Kendall appeared in court yesterday, according to records. He was granted a $75,000 bond. Jail records show Kendall is still behind bars inside the Madison County Jail. And of course, staying in Huntsville, a woman recently bonded out of jail after being arrested for her involvement in a shooting. Shakira Samples is charged with aggravated assault. Samples had a warrant out for her arrest after a fight with another woman outside of a club on Pool Drive last month. Both she and the other woman were both shot at that night. Samples is the mother of one of the children of missing realtor Ronald Dumas. Dumas has been missing since December. And now in Lauderdale County, where a mother is suing county school officials after authorities say a man checked her daughter out of school to have sex with her. The lawsuit was filed against Central High School officials yesterday on behalf of the victim's mother. It accuses school employees of failing to carry out proper checkout procedures. Justin Stevens, who you see on screen, is charged in this case both with rape and traveling to meet a child for a sex act. Lauderdale County investigators say they believe he pretended to be the girl's father before signing her out of school. But now, yesterday afternoon, Morgan County Judge Charles Elliott denied immunity for former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette, the officer charged with murder for the shooting death of Steve Perkins back in 2023 during a car repossession attempt. Marquette will now stand trial for murder in June. 48's Nick Ballinger spoke with the brother of Steve Perkins last night following Judge Elliott's decision. Take a listen.
There was only one way Nick Perkins, the brother of Steve Perkins, who was killed by a Decatur police officer in 2023, could describe the last 72 hours.
3 long days. 3 long days.
The long wait ended with a ruling from a Morgan County judge that Perkins' accused killer, Mac Marquette, did not act in self-defense and therefore can't be granted immunity. Defense attorney Hunter Garnett, not affiliated with this case, noted the extreme detail of the 17-page ruling.
In a case like this, basically the judge's ruling at the end of the day is there's some things that we need to figure out, and a jury needs to decide what is right and what is wrong.
Starting with the question of why Decatur police officers were called to Perkins' home in September of 2023 in the first place.
Part of his ruling is based on the fact that the police officer was acting outside of the line and scope of his employment, that he's doing some things that aren't part of your job as a Decatur police officer. And that's the very first thing I thought about the case was, why the heck are the police helping a tow truck driver repossess a car? That's not only not their job, but it's against the law.
Against the law and police policy, according to the judge. Quote, unless there is judicial process, a secured party may not utilize the assistance of a law enforcement officer in conducting a repossession. A law the judge says the tow truck driver didn't know, but the officers did. It even says this was, quote, common practice for Decatur police to assist in civil matters like Perkins. Marquette and the other officers testified they were investigating a menacing charge from when Perkins first pointed a gun at the tow truck driver. But the ruling says, quote, an investigation would have required them to make contact with Perkins, which body cam footage reveals the officers didn't do, instead opting to conceal themselves outside the home. Prosecutors argued that the officers had options to keep the peace by using their lights or even calling the utility company to track down Perkins' number to make contact, that leading the judge to say, quote, the defendant in regard to a menacing investigation was acting outside the scope of his authority and was therefore a trespasser.
We're very glad for the verdict that came down today, but we have to be reminded that the battle's not over. We still have to stay focused and vigilant because there's a trial coming.
And now staying in Decatur, where a local hospital unveiled the latest safe haven baby box here in the state of Alabama. A truly anonymous way to surrender a baby. 48's Callie Neese has the details.
Decatur Morgan Hospital has a new addition. This is a safe haven baby box, the only safe and anonymous way to surrender a child in the United States.
Isn't it amazing, though, that we're standing at a hospital today blessing a box that is going in the wall so that we don't have to step on a cemetery ground to bless a box going in the ground.
Monica Kelsey, the founder and CEO of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, told me that 229 babies have been surrendered through the Baby Box program, 59 through the actual box, all throughout the United States. How it works is a mother surrendering her baby will come up to the door, open it, and place the baby inside. Once the baby is placed in the bin, hospital staff will be notified and the baby will be taken to the ER to be checked out. then taken to labor and delivery to continue to receive care until put in the hands of DHR. Kelsey says this is simply another option for mothers.
This gives a mother another option, and I think we all can agree that the more options a parent has, the more they're going to choose what's best for them. You know, me saying that this is your only option, that might not be the right option for every woman.
This is not the only box in the Tennessee Valley. Madison Fire Station 1 was the first place in Alabama to get a box, and they have had 2 babies surrendered at their box. Richard Ennis, the EMS captain, says that it is amazing to know that they are giving a child a chance at life.
It's amazing because you never know what that kid's going to be and what its life's going to hold, and being able to have the opportunity for a baby to be surrendered successfully and actually go through, you never know what that's going to do and the value that they're going to bring.
This baby box is located outside of the emergency room at the Decatur Morgan Hospital. There are no cameras facing it, and it is completely anonymous. Reporting in Decatur, Cali News 48 News, on your side.
And now in Boaz, where several roads in the city are getting a facelift. City leaders say over $3 million will go towards road repairs in the very near future. 48 Savannah Sapp has the story.
The city of Boaz is spending $3.7 million on a huge road project that will be kicking off in just 1 week. Street Department Superintendent Lynn Holzenbach says 39 roads are expected to get a facelift, including McVille, Henderson, Double Bridges, and McDowell Circle. He says these areas have needed some work for a while.
We've got some failing drainage and also some issues with potholes and the base layers giving way across the city.
Personnel Director Jeff Sims tells me the funds for these projects have been made available by Marshall County's 1-cent sales tax created in 2017. He says making roads safer is a priority to the city and its employees.
They truly believe that the citizens deserve good streets to ride on and drive on and be safe. So they have no trouble working that into the budget each year, and so we hope to continue that going forward every year.
And the beautification does not stop there. Sims says the city has applied for grants through ALDOT's Rebuild Alabama program, which would bring improvements to 60 more roads across the city.
So we're really looking to secure those funds and hoping to hear in summer about the awarding of those grants.
And as for the current projects happening around the city, crews are expected to begin work on resurfacing and repairs a week from today, with completion expected by late summer. In Boaz, I'm Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Certainly sounds like some exciting stuff. Thank you, Savannah. And now coming up after the break, the latest on student protesters at the University of Alabama, astronauts Butch and Sonny speaking out since returning to Earth, and star IDs, what you need to know before May 7th. It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, break time is up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, in a bit of state news, students at the University of Alabama are taking to the streets in protest after an international Alabama student who was here in the U.S. legally was taken into custody by ICE. James Giles with WBRC was at yesterday's protest and has details.
More than 150 gathering here outside the federal courthouse in Tuscaloosa in support of detained Iranian University of Alabama student Alireza Durodi. They say they want him immediately released and more done by university leaders to advocate for international students.
Free Durodi right now!
Free Durodi right now!
As much as I've been hearing about these other international students who have been detained forcibly in other parts of the country, for some reason I never thought that that could happen on UA's campus.
Students like Jessica Perez say they're outraged.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Perez, the daughter of immigrant parents and an advocate for immigrant rights, says she's questioning why an Iranian student legally in the U.S. on a visa is now in ICE custody.
I still believe that they should do more and they should say more to support their student rather than being complicit, complacent, and just kind of looking the other way.
That's just one of many questions surrounding Duroti's detainment.
Free Duroti, no more ICE!
It really just makes me wonder, if the university refuses to stand for one student, what does that mean for all of the other students?
You know, people think, well, that wouldn't happen here. This is specifically related to political activity, but really, if you're an international student, you're a target.
The University of Alabama says federal privacy laws limit what they can share, but in a statement say international students studying at the university are valued members of the campus community, and there are many resources available to those students. Still, some remain unsure.
A lot of people are really frightened to go to class, frightened to be out in the world, and I just think that that's not the world we want.
Duroti's attorney also releasing a statement saying, in part, he has not been arrested for any crime, nor has he participated in any anti-government protest. He is legally present in the U.S. pursuing his American dream. A dream that supporters here say is being taken away unfairly.
This is a community that cares about each other and our peers regardless of citizenship status or anything of that nature.
Right now, a GoFundMe fundraiser set up in support of Duroti's legal fees has raised more than $25,000. In the meantime, we're still working to find out why the government considers Duroti to be a security risk. Your reporter in Tuscaloosa, James Giles, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
Well, now keep this in mind when planning for your summer travels here in the U.S. On May 7th, star IDs for domestic travel on planes will be enforced. 48's Claudia Peppenhorst spoke with State Trooper Brandon Bailey, who says May 7th is not the deadline to get a star ID. You can still get one anytime, but simply you cannot travel on a plane here in the U.S. until you do after that date. Claudia also spoke with Madison County probate judge Frank Barger, who advises to plan ahead of time if traveling this summer.
Well, with the passports, you can travel anywhere in the United States and anywhere outside of the United States without that star ID. But if you don't have a passport, you don't intend to apply for a passport, I would ensure that you have your star ID in order because you can only travel via plane carrier, by air carrier in the United States if you have that star ID or you have a passport.
Certainly good to know. And now with more on Butch and Sonny's excellent space adventure. A really long adventure, that is. After returning to Earth 2 weeks ago, they're talking about what they missed most during their nearly 10 months away and what they did when they finally got home. NBC's Tom Costello from the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Take a listen.
If there was ever a Hollywood ending to a long space mission, this was it.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
The astronauts, known around the world as Butch and Sonny, finally back home with fellow Crew 9 commander Nick Hague.
On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
2 weeks later, feeling stable after 286 days in zero G, they say they are so happy to be home.
What's the first thing both of you wanted to do?
Yeah, I wanted to hug my husband and hug my dogs. And I'll say that in that order. But maybe not. No, I'm just joking.
Wilmore and Williams' 10-day mission turned into nearly 10 months when their Boeing Starliner spaceship developed problems. Wilmore insists everyone bears some responsibility.
And I'll start with me. There were questions that I, as the commander of the spacecraft, that I should have asked, and I did not. Responsibility with Boeing? Yes. Responsibility with NASA? Yes. All the way up and down the chain. We all are responsible. We all own this.
Did you ever feel abandoned up there? Did you ever feel that NASA, the White House, anybody had abandoned you?
felt abandoned? No. I mean, I didn't think about those type of things. I understand the rhetoric that was taking place. I understand the reason for it. We did not involve ourselves in it at all.
I know that they were concerned about our well-being and when we were coming home and how that was going to happen, and we just, pressed on to do our job that we were, trained to do.
President Trump has said President Biden abandoned the astronauts, and Elon Musk offered to rescue them last fall. But former NASA chief Bill Nelson, his deputy, and NASA sources all tell NBC News they know of no such offer. As veteran Navy pilots and astronauts, Sonny and Butch insist they prepare for the unexpected. But being away from family was hard.
Butch, you have 2 daughters. I have 2 daughters, and I know one of them is her senior year in high school. You've talked a lot about that.
Right.
Did you have any opportunity to zoom in, to remote dial in, so you didn't miss some of those important moments in her high school senior year?
Yes, we used this doxy, and I was able to go in and doxy in to a couple of her volleyball games. Nick's son was in a band, and they went to nationals, and they sent up video, and we all got together on the big screen and watched it together, and it was wonderful.
Their first priority, once they hug their families, sleep.
Gravity makes you tired, very tired.
And it was just really nice to lay down in a bed. We hadn't done that for many months.
What food did you miss the most when you were up on station?
Sorry, 2 words. Chicken salad.
Chicken salad.
A latte.
A latte. Nick?
Fresh bread.
Have you all had your cravings satisfied?
Yes.
And to quote another traveler, there is no place like home.
What's it like to be home?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Earth is nice.
Earth is nice.
Yeah.
Earth is nice indeed, and I'm with Butch. I think if I was trapped in space for 10 months, I think I would be missing a chicken salad sandwich or honestly anything chicken. I would be missing a lot. So let's hope that never happens. But it is now time, of course, for Facebook fun. That's right. In our 48 Facebook question of the day, how long is your commute to work? And let's see what you all had to say. Let's pull it up. 2 hours one way. Wow, that is a long commute to work. Laura, yes, I couldn't imagine driving 2 hours to work every single day. Let's see. Donna said it depends. I pretty much live where I work. And you see the photo. Hold up right here. Right there, she must be a truck driver. Awesome. 0, work from home. That would be nice as well. Just wake up and you're at work. 100%. From bed to my desk, 15 steps via the kitchen. You can get breakfast on your way to work. About, what would you say, maybe 8 steps in, about halfway. 25 minutes. Melinda, that is pretty much exactly my commute to work every day. It's about 25 minutes here, 25 minutes there. And then Petra said 45 minutes to an hour. Depends on the traffic, 100%. Well, thank you all for commenting on today's 48 Facebook question of the day. It always makes my day seeing what you all have to say. Now, make sure to stay tuned for tonight's Weather Extra. Of course, tonight's evening newscast, whether it's the 4, 5, 6, or 10. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 digital app, the 48 First Alert Weather app, and the 48 Sports Zone app. Turn on those push notifications and you will never miss a breaking news story. Well, that's all the time I have today, but as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.